Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial we will work the Dune top, which is an easy top to make for summer with this nice lace pattern, and it has an easy construction with two identical panels front and back, which are assembled together, and then we will work the sleeves into the armhole. For this Dune top I'm using We Are Knitter's the cotton, which is a medium weight yarn. I used for size small approximately 4 balls of yarn, which has 100 grams. We will need 2 crochet hooks in size 4 and 4.5 millimeter and 6 millimeters. The smaller size hook, we will be using it for the ribbing. I have here one of the panels up to the neckline, so I just need to work a couple of more rows only for the shoulders. And here, when we will let the stitches for the neckline, is up to you if you want to make a wider collar, wider neckline, or if you want it to be smaller. Um, we will use the same ribbing for the neckline after joining the two pieces together, and I will show you right away the steps for this top and how this lace stitch pattern is worked. So now let's get started with the other panel that I will work on. Both panels are identical, so you will work them in the same way. And we will start with the bottom ribbing, so I will use the smaller crochet hook for this. And I will chain 7, but if you like to have a wider ribbing, then you can work more stitches. And then, starting with the second stitch, we will single crochet into all of the stitches. I chose for this design a single crochet in the back loop ribbing. So we will go for the first row with regular single crochet, and then we will turn with one chain, and the edges, so the stitches from the edges, we will work them through both loops, and then the middle stitches we will work them only into the back loop. So we will work back loop, single crochet, and then into the last stitch we will work a single crochet but through both loops. And now we will repeat the second row until we will complete the width that we need. The stitch pattern, the lace stitch pattern, requires a multiple of 5 plus 3 stitches. So take this into account when calculating the stitches for your ribbing. Of course, if you want to adjust that or use a different weight yarn, you will need to make a gauge swatch and preferably into the lace stitch pattern to figure out how many stitches you will need to have for the ribbing. Well, how many rows. So in the size that I'm making it and with the gauge that I had, like 15 stitches in 10 centimeters, I needed 78 rows for my ribbing. And now, using the same crochet hook, so the same size, we will chain 1 and we will work into the side rows single crochet stitches. So in each side row we will work 1 single crochet, and at the end of this row we will need to have the same number of single crochet stitches as the number of rows that we did for the ribbing. So in my case it will be 78 single crochet. Okay, at the end of the row we will change the hook size with a 6 mm, and we will start our lace stitch pattern. So I will chain 5 and then turn my work, and into the same first stitch I will work a 2 double crochet group, so 2 double crochet together. Then chain 3, and we will skip 4 stitches, and into the 5th we will work 1 single crochet, chain 3, and a group of 2 double crochet into the same stitch. And now we will repeat. So chain 3, skip the next 4 stitches, and into the 5th 1 single crochet, chain 3, and a 2 double crochet group. And we will repeat this section until the end of the row. You will need to have left 2 stitches at the end of the row, but in case you didn't count the stitches correctly, this is not such a big issue, because basically our motifs will give us the right amount of stitches, so we need to count motifs basically. So now I will need to add one more motif, so I'm going to skip 4 stitches, and as you can see I'm only 1 stitch left, so I think I missed 1 row, but I will go anyway like this, it doesn't matter, and I will finish into the last stitch with 1 double crochet. Normally you'll need to skip 1 stitch and then finish into the last stitch with a double crochet. And now we will chain 5 and turn our work, and this second row of the lace stitch pattern will be basically our repeated row. So we will repeat this pattern for the entire panel. So now I'm going into the first 2 double crochet group and make 1 double crochet group, chain 3, and go into the next 2 double crochet group, and we will work 1 single crochet, chain 3, and a 2 double crochet group into the same stitch. And we will repeat the section until the end of the row, and I will show you right away how to finish this repeated row. Okay, so at the end of the row I have 2 double crochet group in which I need to make my last motif, so 1 single crochet, chain 3, and a 2 double crochet group, and I will finish the row into the 3rd stitch with a double crochet. And then we will repeat this row until we will have in total 25 rows. If you want to make this top longer, then you'll need to add more rows for it and work as many rows as you wish until you'll get not to the desired length, because you need to take into account that we will work as well 2 more rows just for the shoulders. So now I'm counting the motifs for the shoulders, which are 4 in my case. If you want to have the neckline, the collar smaller, then you can adjust that by working the shoulders rows into more stitches. So I will start from where my yarn is, and I will repeat the same stitch pattern for only 4 motifs. So I will work only into 4 2 double crochet group and for only 2 rows. We don't need more. So I will start with 5 chain stitches and then going into the first 2 double crochet group, and I will make a double crochet group. And I will continue with the same stitch pattern, but only for the for the first 4 motifs. So only into the first 4 2 double crochet group, or into as many 2 double crochet group as you chose to, according to your neckline desired neckline width. And as I said, we will work only 2 rows like this. So this one and another one. So I have 3 and I need to work one more. And we will finish into the next single crochet with a double crochet. And now I will work the second row, so chain 5 and turn and repeat the same stitch pattern. And now into the opposite side we will start counting from the edge for 2 double crochet groups, and we will start in the single crochet right before the last one, before the 4th. So we will rejoin the yarn, chain 5 and then going into the first 2 double crochet group and work 1 double crochet group, and then continue with the stitch pattern for 2 more rows, one more row, so this will be one and another one. So we will have in total for the front panel, counting the entire number of rows with the shoulders as well, 27 rows. And then we will repeat the same pattern for the second panel, and then we will start joining them together. So to join the shoulders I used the crochet hook, and I tried to recreate the stitch pattern that we already had for the front and back panel. I already did it in this side, and now I will work it with you on the other side. So it's basically the same, only that we will start from the middle. And what I'm doing basically is working as well into the 2 double crochet groups, only that before finishing the entire motif, so the last 2 double crochet group, I will finish it into the opposite side. to just connect these two pieces together, or you can just finish the stitch, and then when after finishing you just go with a slip stitch into the opposite side. It can be done this way as well. So I started with 2 chain stitches, then going into the opposite side, make a slip stitch, and then continue the chain 5 and working another 2 stitches. Into the written pattern I made chart with this, and it's a bit different than this one, but they are both working as well. So as long as you try to follow the same pattern but try to connect those 2 double crochet group from both sides, it's okay. And if you find this method a bit difficult, then you can use the needle to just simply join and seam together both sides. So now I yarn over, I'm going into the 2 double crochet group and working my motif, 1 single crochet, chain 3, and the 2 double crochet group. And when I want to finish my 2 double crochet group, before yarning over, I'm going into the opposite side, 2 double crochet group, and finish my stitch. And this is how I joined the 2 pieces together. Now to make the chain 3, I will chain 1, then slip stitch into the opposite side to connect the 2 pieces, and then again chain 1. And now I'm going into the next, so into the opposite side. Always when you finish one stitch into one side, you know that you need to go into the other side to start the motif. And we will continue until finishing everything. And at the end the same, we need to finish with 1 double crochet, which we will, before finishing the double crochet, we will go into the opposite side as well. So now I'm making the 2 double crochet group, going into the last 2 double crochet group of the opposite side and finish the stitch. And then I will go with the double crochet, but before finishing it I will just go into the other side as well. And this is how we joined the 2 pieces together on the shoulders. And because we finished to join the shoulders, we can now work on the neckline, and then we will continue with other steps by joining the sides and working the sleeves. But I just wanted to work first the collar, the neckline ribbing, because I wanted to see how it's looking. So to make the neckline ribbing, we will need first to work a base round, which will be in single crochet, and I will use the 4.5mm crochet hook to make that. And I will rejoin yarn in one side into the joining, basically from the shoulders. And for the next 2 rows of the neckline, basically we will work the stitches into the side rows, and we will work 2 single crochet per row. This will be the proportion. And then when we will go on top of the front and back panel, I will show you right away how we will work those stitches. But what we need to have in mind is that we need again 5 stitches. So remember that we said that we will have a multiple of 5 stitches. So basically per motif we will need to recreate those stitches and have them back. So I will work into this is the last stitch from the side row, I think. So now I will go into the when starting to work on the top stitches of the front panel. So this is the chain 3 and then the 2 double crochet group. So I will go into the top of the chain 3 and make a single crochet. I want to work the stitches over my ends, and now I will go into the 2 double crochet group, and then I will work 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 chain stitches. And then I will go into my next stitch as a single crochet, but I don't need to go into that one. So I will go into the top of the chain 3 as well as at the beginning of this side, and then into the 2 double crochet group. And we will repeat working in the same way until we will complete this round. And after finishing this base round, we can start working on our ribbing. So now that we finished this base round for the ribbing, I will chain 7, the same amount of stitches as the ribbing at the bottom. So I'm keeping in the same width for the ribbing. So I will chain 7 and then start into the second stitch and work single crochet stitches up to the base. And then to connect this row with the neckline and to start the next row, we will slip stitch into the next 2 stitches of the base of the neckline, basically neckline edge. And then we will turn and we will work single crochet into the back loop only, except the last stitch. So the stitch from the edge into the stitch from the edge, we will keep working through both loops. And then we will chain 1 and turn, working the first stitch again, this edge stitch through both loops, and then continue working into the back loop up to the neckline edge, and then two slip stitches, in one slip stitch into the next two stitches of the neckline. And we will repeat these 2 rows until we will complete the entire neckline. And after finishing the entire neckline, we will connect the ends of the ribbing using slip stitches, or if you want, you can use a door needle and stitch those edges together. And after that, we can go further with assembling both panels on the sides. Okay, we're done with the neckline now, and we can go further for the sides, but first let's just count the rows for the armhole. I have 9 rows for the armhole, and need to pay attention that you have the same number of rows on both panels. And then you can use a stitch marker to mark the armhole, and then after this step we are ready to join the sides. Again, I will use my crochet hook this time as well, but you can stitch the pieces together using the needle. I just have so many questions every time when I'm working panel construction design, if there is a possibility to use the crochet hook and not to sew the pieces together. So that's why I was thinking that it will be a good thing to show you a few methods with this design, but always you can use the needle if you find it easier. So for the ribbing we will use slip stitches, the same as we did on the neckline. And for the rest, after finishing the ribbing, we will use slip stitches as well, but with a chain in between. I will show you right away. Okay, so when we finished with the edge, and I'm going with a slip stitch into the first stitch of my lace pattern. First of all, how my panels are laid down is facing a double crochet edge is facing a 3 is next to a 3 chain row. So on these side rows we will work 2 stitches. We will consider as working as 2 stitches, and it's the same if you want to use the darn needle, so you will need to stitch 2 stitches per row, per side row. So now that I finish, I will chain one, and let me put these pieces in a way that it will be easy to see what I'm doing, hopefully. And like so. And of course, to find an easier, if I find it easier to word the stitches as well. So now, so I said that we will go into two stitches per side row. So now I have here in the bottom, so I'm chaining one right now, and I'm going into the bottom of the double crochet, because the top side, or into the top with a slip stitch. Then I will chain one and go into the corresponding stitch on the other side, which will be the top of chain 3. If it was the top of double crochet on the other side, now it has to be the top of chain 3. And then I will chain one and go back into the opposite side, and I'm going into the bottom of the chain 3, chain one, and going into the opposite side and going into the bottom of the double crochet, slip stitch, and then chain one. And we will keep waving like this until we will finish the entire piece up to our mark stitch where the armhole begin. So we will keep waving like this until we will get to the stitch marker. Okay, now that we finished to join the two pieces together on the sides, now we can start and work the sleeves. So for the sleeves, we will work directly into the armhole, and I will start my first sleeve from where my yarn is from the joining. And I will start from here. You need to work with the 6mm crochet hook, because we are working into the same stitch pattern as the front and back panel. If you want short sleeves, you can just repeat the same ribbing as for the neckline, working 2 single crochet at the beginning per each side row. But I will work the same stitch pattern as the front and back panel, and because we are working into the side rows as well, we will consider each row 2 stitches. So remember that when we work into the bottom ribbing, we were skipping 4 stitches in between the motif, the single crochet, chain 3, and 2 double crochet group. So basically now we will need to skip 2 side rows, because each side row represents 2 stitches. So what I'm doing right now, and this was a mistake that I was doing it when starting the sleeves, then I figured out that it won't look okay this time, and in the second video, in my next video, I will show you how to proper start this row. So you will need to start it in the same way as flat, so with chain 5, so not with a single crochet, how I'm doing it right here. So with chain 5, and then with 2 double crochet group into the same stitch, and then you will need to chain 3 and skip 2 rows and going, so I'm skipping one double crochet, one chain 3, and I'm going into the top of the next stitch, which will be a double crochet, but it's reversed with the top of the stitch to the right. And I will continue with the motifs. So every time you will need to skip 2 side rows between the motifs. And we will continue to work in the round like this. And this will be the first round. And by the way, the sleeves are worked into the round, but you will need to turn after each round to have the same stitch pattern as for the rest of the top, the front and back panel. So when closing a round, we will simply, after the last motif, after the last 2 double crochet group, we will slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Now, as you can see, because I did it wrong, I will slip stitch now into the single crochet. But when starting with chain 5, as it should be, you need to slip stitch into the 3rd chain. It's not a big issue if you're continuing working, start working with a single crochet and directly with a motif. Only that I noticed that the sleeve is starting to stretch, to shrink on that joining. So I found that it's looking nicely and neater if it's worked and start working with chain 5. But I will show you right away how to properly start a round. The sleeve in length has 18 rows. So I think now it will be the last time when joining into the single crochet. And I will show you right away how to start with a chain 5. Okay, so after turning the row, you need to start with chain 5. I need to undo everything from the beginning. And then going into the first 2 double crochet group and work 2 double crochet group, and then chain 3 and repeat. So starting with chain 5 and not with a single crochet, chain 3, and then the two double crochet group. So starting the round exactly how we will start a flat round. And to finish the round, we will simply, after finishing the last two double crochet group, we will join with a slip stitch into the third chain. And then start all over. So we will repeat and work 18 rows for the sleeves, or until you have the desired length. Continue working in the round and turning after each round. Okay, so now chain 5, and turn, and into the first two double crochet group we will work a 2 double crochet group, and then chain 3 and go into the next 2 double crochet group and repeat our motifs. Okay, now that we are clear with how I hope with how the sleeves are worked, we can continue working the length of them, and then we will meet again to work the ribbing. So okay, I have finished the 18 rows for the sleeve length, and now with the smaller crochet hook I will work a single crochet row before or round before starting working the ribbing. And as you worked on the neckline ribbing when working into the top stitches, we will work the same. So I'm working a single crochet into the top of the 3 chain, then going with a single crochet into the 2 double crochet group, then 1 single crochet into the next 3 chain stitches. Then we will skip the single crochet and going into the top of 3 chain and working a single crochet, and then a single crochet into the 2 double crochet group, and we will continue like this until we will finish the round. And then we will work another round with a few decreases because the sleeve is still too large for my taste. So I will join into the first single crochet with a slip stitch, and then we will do a decrease pattern, which will be 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 1 decrease, working 2 single crochet together, then 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 1 decrease, and another, and repeat one more time. So 1 single crochet and 1 decrease, and then we will repeat 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet, 1 increase twice, and so on until we will complete the round. If you feel like there are still too many stitches and you want to decrease more, you can do one more row in single crochet and making a few more decreases, or even decrease more on this round. Maybe just repeat 1 single crochet, 1 decrease along the round. Okay, so now it's nice. And I will start working the ribbing with chain 7, the same as we did on the neckline ribbing, so it's the same pattern right now. And this is how we will work the cuffs of the sleeves. And after finishing the cuff, you will need to work in the same way the second sleeve. And then after finishing the second sleeve, we are all done with this dune top. And we just need to wave in all the looser ends and then block it if needed and wear it or give it away as a gift if you like. After we will finish the ribbing, we will be the same as for the neckline. We will need to join the ends with using slip stitches or the yarn needle as you wish. And this is the finished cuff, and we are so close to the end right now. We will just join the ends, and basically that was it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm super happy with my Dune top. I kind of love it. It's my favorite so far. And I hope I didn't confuse you too much with those joining with the crochet hook. But don't worry, you can successfully use the yarn needle if you want. So I hope you like it. And that was it for today, and I will wait you next time with another design and another tutorial. Thank you for watching and being with me today, and until next time, bye bye.